Hey Steeler fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Let's jump into the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news and rumors here today because there's some interesting articles and discussions we need to go ahead and have, and we'll begin with a trade discussion and a rumored trade target for your Pittsburgh Steelers, and that has to be the Washington tackle Morgan Moses, who, due to a recent report out of Washington, is seeking a trade, and Washington has agreed to trade him. And so if you're a Steeler fan, you know, well, offensive line was an issue last year. You look at the current state of the offensive line and you go, yeah, I think we could go ahead and use another offensive tackle, and this is a much better one, at least one of the better ones that would be available to trade for when he's on the free agent market right now in the current offseason in the National Football League. So Moses quickly does have a cap hit about $9.65 million in 2021. A little high for me. Maybe you could go ahead and restructure that. Who knows? But he is a need at left tackle or right tackle. He can play either one, even though the Steelers went ahead and drafted offensive tackle Dan Moore in the fourth round of the 2021 NFL Draft. I think the hope is that Moore could be a starter if need be, but as we know, any offensive lineman drafted anywhere past the first round of the National Football League is not guaranteed to be a starter anytime soon, especially as a rookie. So Steelers Wire has a good write-up on the current state of the Falcons' offensive line, and this is, I think, well written overall. I'm going to throw it up on your screen right now. The Pittsburgh Steelers still need help at tackle despite drafting Dan Moore Jr. in the fourth round of the 2021 NFL Draft. Right now, the Steelers have Chuck's Okorafor, I think that's how you say his last name, Okorafor. I always mess up his name whenever I'm pronouncing it. Returning, who had an okay season in 2020 as the team's starting right tackle, and Zach Banner, who's coming off of an ACL surgery that cost him all of last season, end quote. And he's right. As you currently look at the offensive line in Pittsburgh, a lot of changes based on what you had seen over the past couple of years with the departure of Alejandro Villanueva as he goes to the Baltimore Ravens. They do still have, I think, some question marks on the offensive line. Now, is Moses going to immediately come in and be a starter and take over? No, I think you put him in as a competition for either of the two starting tackles at left or right side and let him just battle it out in training camp. And if he wins the starting job, then the trade was worth it. If he doesn't win the starting job, well, then you probably didn't spend too much to trade for him because he is not, the superstar offensive tackle. He's just a good offensive tackle, and you still have him as depth in case there were to be an injury. One of the big reasons that Big Ben Roethlisberger struggled last year was pressure in his face from an offensive line perspective. The offensive line was unable to hold up. I think Pittsburgh should have done a little bit more during the NFL Draft and not just taking a fourth rounder at offensive tackle, maybe a little bit earlier, but here we are. They can, hopefully make up for that mistake, in my opinion, in the draft by trading for a guy like Morgan Moses, who hopefully can be a guy who stays healthy, which he did in 2020, and not give up a lot of sacks, as it looked like in 16 games last year. According to his statistics, he only gave up 5 total sacks in 2020 during his time in Washington. So a very viable target and option right now if Pittsburgh needs a tackle at any time, whether they believe they want one right now or they wait till training camp or they wait for an injury. But especially with a guy like Banner coming off of the ACL surgery that cost him all of last year, the depth at tackle, and I think the concern at the starting position is valid, and so Morgan Moses is an option for Steelers fans. The Steelers Wire had a great write-up, as we mentioned earlier, on the whole discussion, and I think that this is a very good option and a possible trade target for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I'm harping on the O-line maybe a little bit more than you might be, so give me your grade on the current state of the Steelers' offensive line going into 2021. You feel good about it? Are you an A on the current grade? Are you more of a B, C, D, F? I'd say I'm at a C right now, just based on losing guys last year, and then obviously the injuries last year, and the guys coming back, and so give me your thoughts on the Steelers' offensive line from a grading perspective down below in the comments section right now. All right, Steeler fans, this is one of our brand new channels here at Chat Sports, and we're trying to beat the Ravens channel, the brand new one called Ravens Rundown, to 1,000 subscribers. And we, of course, hate the Baltimore Ravens, so you should be subscribed to our channel over them, obviously. Right now, we have about 693 subs. Ravens Rundown has 551, so we're currently beating them. We want to get to the first of the two to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're brand new to the channel, you like the Pittsburgh Steelers, we're going to become your one-stop shop for all things Pittsburgh. So go down below and hit that red subscribe button, because the more subscribers that we have, the more videos we can go ahead and make for you guys to watch. And so if you want us to build the best Steelers channel on YouTube, as is our goal here at Chat Sports, then go down below and hit that red subscribe button for us today. All right, Steelers fans, jump into some more Steelers news and rumors, and this comes via the highly publicized, I should say, comments from defensive lineman Cam Heyward over the past couple of days regarding Big Ben Roethlisberger, the Steelers quarterback. So first off, let's just set some groundwork here. I think we all understand in the Steel City that this is probably going to be, very likely Big Ben's last season in the National Football League. Now, Ben has not just discussed if he's going to retire or not. Remember a couple of years ago when he did, but that's not the case this year, and so who knows? Maybe he balls out and he wants to come back for one more year in 2022, but this does seem to be, I think we can all kind of, hush-hush, this is going to be Big Ben's last year. Now, they did add a quarterback in free agency in Dwayne Haskins, but they didn't draft one in the NFL draft. Just a surprise to me and a lot of fans out there because they feel like you wanted to go ahead and start grooming the guy, and Mason Rudolph is not really seeming to be the guy, but maybe Dwayne Haskins could be, I guess. However, despite all of that, defensive tackle Cam Heyward spoke to the media the other day, and he gave us full confidence and full support behind Big Ben, saying he still thinks Ben can sling it around and be the starter, at least a very good starter. So here was Heyward's comments on Big Ben, quote, "We know he's an explosive quarterback that can throw the ball all over the field, but I think around we've got to be complementary. Whether it's on offense, defense, special teams, Ben's still got the goods. Anyone that tells you otherwise, they haven't really looked at football," end quote. Now, he's right, and you got to be a little more specific here, right? So Big Ben has all the weapons. I think he has a decent offensive line. We talked about that earlier. I think the offensive line could be better and needs to play a lot better to keep him upright, but he has all the weapons on the outside, and they added him a running back, so they're giving him every chance to be successful. I just go back to the draft and say, why didn't you draft a quarterback just in case he's not? Right? Is the expectation if Big Ben struggles through 5-6 games in the NFL and the defense is playing well, but the offense is struggling, are you going to insert Dwayne Haskins? Do you feel confident in Dwayne Haskins? Didn't have a very good career in Washington, got kicked out of Washington essentially. So I love the weapons, I love this offense, and if Big Ben can play well like Cam Heyward thinks that he can, these guys are going to score a lot of points. You have Najee Harris, Juju, Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Eric Ebron. I mean, goodness gracious, it's great. But as we saw at times last year, despite them winning double-digit games, Big Ben would be was one of the reasons why the offense was held back. I think the offensive line is another reason there. So I hope Heyward is right. I think all Steeler fans hope Heyward is right. I think the majority of Steeler fans think that Cam Heyward is right, but it's yet to be seen, and this is probably the most concerned I would say most Steeler fans should be about Big Ben going into a season than they've ever in the past, because it's always been a consistency in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization that Big Ben is going to be your starter and be really, really good. So we'll wait and see. We hope that Cam Heyward is correct, but obviously that is yet to be seen. Excuse me. Question: how many wins do you have the Steelers having in 2021? Right now, how many wins will the Steelers have this coming year? They won the division last year, double digits. Do you see the same thing? You got Baltimore looming there. The Cleveland Browns are a lot better. I mean, they beat Pittsburgh in the wild card round or in their first divisional matchup. So let me know what you guys think in terms of the total wins for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2021 by commenting down below. Ultimate out for today here. Again, our brand new Steelers channel trying to get to 1,000 subs. Make sure you guys are subscribed down below by hitting that red subscribe button. But as I said, I'm Thomas Mott as we go ahead and sign off. Guys, stay safe out there and enjoy the rest of your day.